It's time to mind your business with me, Jamila Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.
Welcome to the Mind Your Business podcast.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you on. And I guess we're just going to start with who you are. Tell us all about who Astoria is, what your business is, and what you do.
Sure. So my name is Astoria Smith. I am a certified brow waxing makeup artist and nail technician, and I own a space called Lacquered Lounge. So it is all about green beauty, wellness, and it's located in St. George's, and I'm celebrating 3 years this year.
Oh, congratulations. That's really good to hear.
Yeah.
So did you start off in beauty before you decided to start your own business, or did you go into beauty knowing that you wanted a beauty business?
So this is a bit of a second career for me. So
Okay.
I have a honors business degree, and so I worked in hospitality and sales, and then in some financial institutions on the island.
Okay.
I never really felt like I loved it. Like I never felt fulfilled. I always sort of was probably critical of how other people were doing things, and so
Yeah.
I figured that I wanted to do something for myself. And I really come from a line of entrepreneurs in my family. Historically, my dad is a taxi driver. My grandmother and my grandfather owned several restaurants. So I was sort of raised in that mindset, and so after a while I just figured like, okay, I need to do something for myself. And I always loved makeup. So I started to look into courses that were around makeup, and then nails, and then sort of branched out from there.
Awesome. Yeah. So how are you finding the beauty industry in Bermuda? Is it lucrative? Is it a good industry to be in, or does it have its challenges?
I think every industry is going to have its challenges. Yeah. I think in Bermuda, it's really unique in that you don't really have to convince people to take care of themselves. I think in other spaces where maybe there are lower incomes or there are other priorities, like people don't spend as much, whereas in Bermuda, I think we take really good care of ourselves. So it's been sort of an easy sell, and especially with the non-toxic products and the eco-friendly aspect that I have to my business, people have been really receptive.
So just noting off of that, is that what sets Lacquered Lounge apart from other beauty industries, and like why did you decide to go that route?
Yeah, I think I set it up to be a green space. I definitely wanted to open that up. It's pretty unique in Bermuda, and was especially when I opened in 2020. I really started it because I started in mobile services. And so I was coming into contact with women who were breastfeeding, women who had suffered with cancers, strokes, women who were on medication, who couldn't leave their houses or didn't want to leave their houses, didn't want to be exposed to either additional bacteria or the traditional sort of products that salons use that can be connected to cancers and other diseases or issues. And so when I started to come into contact with those women, I decided to look into it. So I started with nail polish and sort of found a non-toxic, better option for nail polish. And then once I jumped on nail polish, it was sort of a rabbit hole where I was looking for different options for everything. And then that's when I sort of decided, okay, I think I can open a space that's specifically geared towards giving a non-toxic option for beauty, because there is... What I love about it, I think, is that there's people who are interested in it, and there's also an opportunity for us to learn, and for me to teach and give people information.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is just that, like, usually when, like, for me, someone who has absolutely no idea about the industry at all, like, when I think of nail polish, the toxic and everything else in it doesn't come, like, straight to mind, right? So it's such an opportunity that you have to be teaching people like, hey, you should think about like what's in your makeup because it does go on your skin, and
For sure.
People do have different allergies and all of that sort of stuff. So like, are you finding that education is a big portion of running your business?
Yeah, I think it can be a double-edged sword, and that some people, like you said, are not thinking about it, but then that also gives me the opportunity to be the forefronter, to be the person who they hear it from first, and to educate. I think especially, I mean, just categorically, I think white women are more, they do wellness better. I think there's a focus there on health and wellness, and they are a little bit more, not receptive, but a little bit more, they're more aware. And I think Black women, especially because we use so much beauty, like we spend up to 9 times more on beauty products. It's such a huge opportunity for me to connect with people and to really give them the information, especially in Bermuda, where our population, there is so many Black women, right? And you know, there's more information about what can be causing cancers and even hair products, different things. So yeah, there's a huge opportunity there.
I didn't actually know that Black women use, like, the percentage is so much higher. Wasn't aware of that. That's pretty good. But that means that that's lots of opportunity for you on the island, at least. Okay, well, I want to switch gears a little bit. So you are part of BDC's Enterprise Bermuda program. So I want to just find out from you, how has your experience been in it, and what do you hope to gain from being in the program?
Okay, so I think that what I'm taking out of it, it's been 6 months, so what I'm taking out of it is that I'm doing a great job.
Yes.
I think you take for granted, especially for myself, I work by myself, and so I really don't have anyone to bounce ideas off of or compare it to, and so it's really easy to be hard on yourself when it's just you.
Yeah, it is.
And so when I got into the program, and then they were discussing sort of concepts and things that I was like, oh, I use that, and I don't necessarily have a name for it, but like, okay, I'm already doing that. Okay. Oh, okay, I already have a marketing plan. Okay, like it's affirming, right? To just be like, okay, I'm already doing that as things, because I think as an entrepreneur, you can sort of always feel like, oh, I'm so far behind, or I'm not doing it right. So I think that's my main takeaway from it. Is like, okay, I'm doing good. Like I'm okay. I'm not doing everything wrong. Sometimes you can definitely feel that way.
You can definitely feel super lonely as an entrepreneur, and like you said, like, the world is ending because you're all by yourself and this is so hard. So definitely the camaraderie that comes with being in the program is great. I know that over the Christmas holiday, we sponsored you guys to do a pop-up in Washington Mall. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how it went for you?
Sure. So that was a super interesting process. I've never done a pop-up, so I was definitely messaging the poor ladies that they're like season. They're like, I'm doing 1,000 pop-ups this like season. What's wrong with this girl? I'm like, do I need a table? Do I need a car? Do I need this? Do I need that? What do I do? I'm on Pinterest. I was on YouTube, like trying to look. It was interesting. I think you assume, especially because I'm in St. George's, that being in town would have a bigger impact. I think if I did it again, I would do it differently. So I think, I think I took for granted, again, that people will travel to St. George's. And I knew that, but then that was really, it confirmed, like, especially at Christmas, people are going to come to St. George's. And I think I just didn't appreciate. I was like, oh, I'm going to be in town. Like, I'm going to make $1 million. And I think I didn't even break even, which is okay. Because then I was like, okay,
it's
well,
a learning
I
experience.
Actually, like, I actually can make more in St. George's if I focus and because I think the challenge was that I am only one person. And so I was splitting my energy, and I think if I
so you still had the store open in St. George's. Okay, that's hard. That's definitely hard.
So I think if I did it, I would do it maybe in a different season, one that's slower in St. George's. and or I would set it up a bit differently so that I wasn't sort of splitting my time, because I think as I move further in my business, I realize how important and how valuable my time is. And so if I'm using it up, or if I feel exhausted, then I don't really have the energy to like create reels or send marketing emails or whatever. Like, it's all coming from me. So that was, I think, my main takeaway from it, which is good to know.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, you don't know until you actually try and you do it, right? So any sort of outcome is going to be helpful in one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure.
So what are your ultimate business goals for Lacquered Lounge? Where are you aiming to be within like the next 5 years, say?
So I would love to open up a bigger space.
Okay.
I really love St. George's. I want to stay in that area, so I would want to employ some additional people. And as I'm sort of planning forward, I would really like to create a space where people can grow. I think that's a big challenge, not only in Bermuda, but in the spa industry.
So when you say people can grow, like training your staff?
Yeah. So I would like someone to start, like, okay, you start at reception, and then like 2 or 3 years later, you'll be trained to be a full-time beauty therapist, and then 2 or 3 years later, like, you can move into marketing, or you can become a supervisor, or so I think that's something that's really missing in the beauty therapy industry, because people sort of get trapped and then people get burnt out. And so I want to create a space where people can grow and elevate and be happy. I think I've worked a lot of jobs where people weren't happy, where I wasn't happy. So I'd like to create a space where people can grow and be happy, and that only relates and translates into good service for the customers too.
Yeah, absolutely. So at Lacquered Lounge now, for those people that don't know or have never been down to St. George's to see you, like, what type of services do you offer?
So I do full body waxing, brows, facials, makeup application, manicures, pedicures. I think that's it.
Okay. All right, cool. And so yours is all non-toxic, eco-friendly. So can you explain, like, what is the difference between, like, your facial, like an eco-friendly facial, and like a normal facial, not normal, but a what's the word I'm looking for? A standard one. Traditional, that you would find in other spas or places like that.
Yeah, I think for my space and my business, what I've done is taken into consideration all angles of being non-toxic and eco-friendly. So, for example, the water heater that I have that's going to heat up your water for your facial is electric. So it's going to use less water. It's going to use less electricity to get warmer. So you're going to start from there.
Okay, so your operations are also eco-friendly. Very nice. Okay, cool.
Yep. Your consultation form is not paper. It's electric. So again, saving paper. When you come in, then I'm selecting from a product line that is eco-friendly. It's in glass bottles. I order from a lot of smaller businesses, which means that they can take the opportunity to do plastic-free shipping, and also do smaller batches, less waste, and then select products and ingredients that are going to be better for you, that are going to be non-toxic, whereas I think larger businesses tend to cut corners or create products that are cheaper so that they can sell to larger audiences. So it's really an all-around experience where I've taken sort of everything into consideration. Even the trash bags that I use are biodegradable. So
nice. I like that. So it's not just things that are good for your skin or better for your skin. It's really holistically, like, everything that goes into your business, which is great. Sure. And it trickles down. Like, you don't think that, like, just one person using a different type of trash bag is going to make a difference, but it does. It does for sure. So in your 3 years of owning and running Lacquered Lounge, what is, like, the most important piece of information that you think you've learned thus far?
I think the most important is, especially as a solo entrepreneur, but I think this relates to sort of anyone, is making sure that you take breaks. I think because I do everything, because I'm doing my accounting and my marketing and also the services, and I'm also trying to do research and development it's so easy to get burnt out. And then I feel like I take it out on the clients. Like, I'm just not as welcoming or kind or as I want to be. Even if they don't notice, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I wasn't nice. And then also, like, your body is going to take a break if you don't take it. So then it has an impact. Anyways, you might as well plan, like, your breaks, and then you can come back more refreshed and more creative and more responsive and kinder to yourself, to the business, and to the customer. So I think that's been a sort of hard lesson to learn, because I think especially as you jump in, those first couple of years, I think I was in my hustle mindset. So I'm like, okay, I'll work my days off. You want to come in at 9 a.m. and I'm working until 8, like, come in at 9 a.m., I'll work until 8. Do you want to come after 8? I'll be there. Do you want, like,
you got to set boundaries.
It's so important, because the only person that suffers is me.
And then ultimately your business.
Right? For sure.
No, that's really important, and especially important to acknowledge is that we can't do everything ourselves. And so, like, on that note, what is your opinion about competition versus collaboration? Because we can't do everything ourselves, so sometimes we do have to collaborate, or we do have to find outside help. So how do you feel about that, in the sense of just being the entrepreneur and being the business owner, but then also from the business perspective of you are worried about competition or embracing collaboration? What do you think?
I probably have a more unique aspect about competition, in that, like, not to say I don't have competition, but it's not something that sits sort of at the forefront of my mind. You want to sort of be aware of your competition, but I think there's enough money, there's enough resources, and not everyone is your clientele, which is a huge lesson that you have to learn. It's massive. Like, it's okay if people are not shopping with you. If they're not spending, they may not be in your in your target market. So I think everyone has their space, and I think people find that a little bit more difficult to digest, especially in such a small market as Bermuda. But the money is out there, and the people are out there, and the person that you're looking for, the clients that you're looking for, are out there. So I'd much rather work with people. And I also think, like, if you look at sort of business research, I know there's one study where if they're, like, it was a shoe store, I think. So if there's one shoe store, then people will spend money. But if there's 2 shoe stores, then people will spend more money, because there's more business around. And so people are more likely to do shopping around and come and visit that space. I think, the more... I'm not adverse. I'd rather work with people. I'd rather... because you can't serve everyone, right? Like, and so... if there are other people who are doing stuff that's similar, then it doesn't take away. It actually adds to the space. It adds to, especially in St. George's, where people can kind of think it's dead. Like, I love to work with the other businesses in St. George's, because people are going to come and spend money if there are more active...
more things to do, right?
Exactly.
Like, if you go and you spend an afternoon in St. George's, you do want just, like, multiple places. Like, I might come get a pedicure and then go grab a coffee. Like, you know? So it's definitely good to work with other businesses.
For sure.
There's things that you can learn even from businesses that aren't in your industry. So it's always good to do that. So we don't have too much time left, but I do want to talk about you as a female entrepreneur, and just sort of doing that in Bermuda and in an industry where it is heavily female dominated, I would assume. How has that been for you, and do you think that it's important for female entrepreneurs to have support and, like, your own ecosystem?
I would say, I think my experience has been that no matter the industry, a lot of entrepreneurs are women. I don't see even
in Bermuda. It's different in Bermuda.
I think even, like, of the courses that I've taken or different meetups, it's mostly been women. And I think it can be difficult. Like, I went to BHS, so I think you know, I'm very well versed in that sort of competitive sort of space. Not that I lean towards it, but I think it can be difficult to work with women, but only if the other women are in sort of a lack mindset. I think if everyone is in that collaborative mindset, then it works really well because you can bounce ideas off of each other. You can create sort of synergy. And then everyone's better for it. Whereas if someone's working sort of in the, like, I don't have, so I don't want to give, then that is where it creates a problem. And that can be male or female. So,
yeah. Bermuda is an interesting one where we do actually have quite a few female business owners. Whereas if you go outside of our shores, that drastically changes, right? But I think it's unique in that there is like an ecosystem of female entrepreneurs that do support each other, that do help each other. And that's always important, I think. So before we go, I just want to, if there's anything that you could say to your younger self, like 3 years ago before you even started Lacquered Lounge, what are some tips or advice that you would give younger Astoria?
I would tell her, doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to all happen at once in order to be successful. And that I add value. I think it's easy for entrepreneurs to get so bogged down in the product or the service and devalue what they're bringing to the table, whether it's skills or their personality or their lens, which everyone has such a unique and beautiful way to execute an idea. I think it's so easy to devalue that. And it's really what makes your business unique and beautiful and what attracts people to it, right? So I think I would definitely tell myself to not undervalue that.
Yeah, well said. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on Mind Your Business. And I wish you all the best in your third year for Lacquered Lounge.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and definitely go and visit her in St. George's. What are your opening hours?
So I am open weekdays 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then Saturdays and Sundays 11 a.m. to 5.
Awesome. And can they book online?
They sure can, yeah. So you can book online at lifestylebylacquered.com, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere.
Perfect. Definitely go find her, book your facials, book your pedicures, and enjoy the whole Lacquered Lounge experience.
Yeah, right. Come on down.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamila Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.